beautiful one. This is Lizette Morais, founder of Authentic Voice and the creator of Arise. In today's vlog of Seeds of Wisdom, I wanted to share a beautiful, beautiful story with you about manifesting miracles. And it happened just this weekend. I am still buzzing and it is amazing and so much lessons to take out of what happened. So I'll start the story and then I'll weave in the lessons that you can apply in your own life as we go along. A very, very good friend of mine, a couple, they came to me in about October and we started talking about general discomfort. You know, the job wasn't working anymore. The place they were living in wasn't working anymore. They wanted something new. They wanted something fresh, didn't know where to get started. And this was lesson number one for me when it comes to manifesting miracles. When our life is no longer working, for me, that is a divine message. That is clear message, contrast. So things showing up that we don't like, or feeling stuck, feeling nostalgic, feeling something's out of whack. It probably is because it is. It's out of alignment. It probably served you for a season and it was a wonderful step with a great set of lessons. But when you're feeling that way, it probably is time to move on. And before we move, before you do anything, what we want to do is we really want to get centered. We want to get grounded. We want to tap into that deepest place of ourselves, into that highest intuition that we can. And we want to really ask ourselves the question of, what is it that we want? See, so often we get stuck on looking at the external circumstances and focused on what we don't like. Rather, we want to get within ourselves and find out what is it that we do love. Where are we being guided to go next? And if you struggle to do that, which I can imagine, we all do at times, I've got a fantastic meditation which has a link below here. If you'd like to grab a hold of that, it's my gift to you. I think everyone should have it, to come into that place of centeredness and come into that place of truly grounding and understanding from my essence, from my soul, from my deepest intuition, from my heart, what is it that I want? So they wanted something new, and they knew they wanted to come and live in a different area, actually close to me. So they started having to take inspired action. And the first thing was getting a job. So he did the rounds, showed up in the places that he wanted. He valued his worth, so he only went there, which I loved. And he took that inspired actions, and within a week, he got his job. He got his job, truly an upgrade, truly the next step, super excited, and it came through. But that wasn't the miracle just yet. That was just step two. And step two is, once you get clear on what you want, you need to take action. It's all wonderful about the law of attraction, and yes, it works, but we need to honor flow. We need to flow with the flow. Now, to flow with the flow, I noticed that we need to do two things. Number one is, you have to be okay. I have to be okay with not knowing the entire length of the way. I have to be okay in understanding that I don't know the how. I just know the why. I just know the what. And then in trust and surrender, I take the necessary steps of the next thing that shows up. This is very important. We want to only relax, stay grounded, stay tapped in, so I can listen to what is the next inspired action that comes along. So at this point, they are knowing that they are moving. It's happening. And this is where it kind of gets scary, and where most of us kind of stop the manifestation of our miracle. Because as they started closing down the past, and he gave up his job and he gave up his home, he had to start walking towards this new future, this new reality. But there was a piece, which was their home, which was missing. And they were doing the inspired action, they kept on going, and then people that loved them, cared about them as normal, start infiltrating into the situation. And this is what happens. Sometimes you can have a deep knowing, and there's people that love you, and of course they do, and they're trying to support you, but people cannot help but to project their own fears and their own reality on top of you. And you have to be able to stay so true to that knowing that nothing is going to bother you. So at the beginning of this weekend, on Thursday, they came to my home and they were telling me how it was starting to get frustrating looking for this house. Everyone is saying the market is impossible. Everyone is saying that and every house that they saw was tiny, didn't even fit in their furniture. Prices are through the roof. I called a real estate agent who said, yes, Lizette, actually at the moment it's pretty impossible. And this is what I knew. I knew that if they were being called and guided to come here and a job had opened up and they longed to have a home where they had privacy, where they had space, where they could build their own little life, where they could receive people and enjoy, I knew if that's their desire and flow is leading to that, then there must be a house. There must be. There must be. And it's that surety that it's there. That's why we have trust and surrender, right? So I knew the house was there. And here was the beautiful thing. For them to receive the house, they had to truly make sure that every self-sabotaging belief, any limited conditioning, any wound that was unhealed, for them to be truly in alignment to receive all of it, to receive the highest of it, to come through. So this is what I notice with so many of us. It's in that moment of limbo. It's in that moment where the new reality is there, the old reality is closing, where we have to walk this unknown path, where we almost say are suspended in air, that we really start shaking, and where everyone else's projection starts filtering in our system. So when they told me and I saw their frustration, I said, honeys, we need to work on your alignment. The problem is not on other people's projections. People are going to project welcome to 3D, planet Earth. That's what's going to happen. But for us to truly own our manifestation, we have to be in such alignment that we can receive it. And indeed, when we worked together, they accepted my offer of having a session with me. We discovered in both her and him different blocks that were in some ways they were not fully believing, because there had been a moment in the past where they hadn't received it, and therefore there was a core hurt. Once we unraveled that limiting condition and belief, once we healed that wound, they felt absolutely liberated. They felt that knowing again and that surety and that confidence. And it wasn't the question of when, it was just how exciting it's going to be to watch this unfolding. And I'm so happy to say, in 24 hours, the next morning, my boyfriend woke up and I said, there's a house 15 minutes from here that's just come on the market. It is what they are offering to give. And we just have to be the first ones there because there's so many people. And they were already en route looking at another house, but they were en route and they were the first people there. By the end of that day, they had the keys to their home. The deposit done. We met some amazing people. The home is gorgeous. It's a little cottage with 3 bedrooms, with a bath, with a garage, with space, with a garden. And my heart was so full for them. So full, not because the house came, but because they were willing and courageous enough to open up so much and trust so much that that house could be received fully without stopping it, sabotaging it, and stopping the energy of the momentum. So if you are feeling that, things aren't where you want them to be, first, we want to get grounded. We want to really know, get that clarity. So what is it that you want? Secondly, is to walk this journey of trust and surrender, being inspired by the next action, and always honoring flow, because flow is always there. And one of the most important lessons I ever learned about flow was there is always flow, but sometimes the flow is saying no, right? When those doors aren't opening, when it isn't that effortless manifestation, it's probably because something is out of alignment. And then make sure that even as we walk the journey, that we can stand grounded and firm in the surety of our next step. Well, I hope you've been inspired. If I can ever serve you, you can always connect with me for a clarity call, absolutely free of charge. I would love to connect, find out where you are and how I can support you. And I really just long for us to manifest so many more miracles, because if you feel it and it's calling you, I know it's yours. So, wishing you all the best, big love as always, and take care.